Hey everybody, Alex from SeemsGoodMagic.com here. I'm doing an Avacyn restored Swiss draft today. So why am I downgrading to Swiss drafts? Well, I wrote an article about Avacyn Restored Limited, so hopefully that'll help clear up a little bit more why Randy and I guess have had so many problems with this format. I'll name the two big reasons. And you've probably heard Randy say this too. So there's very high variance in the card quality of each booster that you open. So what does that mean? It means there's very low quality cards and you have these very high quality cards, but there's not a lot of in between. It's either really good or really bad. Now you have to couple that with the fact that there's very few archetypes available in this format. So the three archetypes that I've established as being the best are green with anything, because green has the most quality common and uncommon creatures. You also have black with anything, because black is offering you the best removal of any color. So, you know, you get like the Human Frailty and the Deathwind and the Bone Splinters. You also have the aggro strategy, which is either red-white or red-blue. So those are like the three main strategies that I've discovered. And I usually like to just be in the green one. I think I've probably had the most success in that one. So the reason that I'm doing Swiss is simply because of the high variance. It's a lot more difficult to pick a strategy and be successful with it. So what that means is, if you pick a high quality card in a certain color, but then you start getting cut on that color, you're in a world of trouble, because you can't make like a mediocre deck in this format and expect to win with it. You really have to, you know, have the quality there in your packs, because if you don't have that quality and you're going up against an opponent that, you know, has 3 or 4 either bombs or just high quality 3 and 4 drops, there's not a very good chance that you're going to win. So looks like our draft's just about to start here, and what have we opened? Okay, so the most quality cards in this pack would have to be the Human Frailty, the Banishing Stroke, and let's see, Bloodflow Connoisseur is also very good. It's really just between these two, I would say, the Human Frailty or the Banishing Stroke. If I open up with white right away, white and green is a very good strategy. Even though Banishing Stroke takes care of pretty much everything, I think we're just going to go with the Human Frailty, because it takes care of a large amount of threats. It does it as a cheap price, so I'm not afraid to jump into black, and black actually goes with any other color from what I've found. A lot of times you can just, black isn't even your main color, you just pick black for the Human Frailty, Deathwinds, Bone Splinters, any other removal, and you just let your other color, preferably green, be the focus. So it would have been nice to open a better green card, because I don't know, I always like to just dive right into green, but we're going to pick the Human Frailty to start her off. Okay, well, we get past an amazing green pack. Could easily pick the Deathwind here, which is awesome removal, but there's no way that I can pick it over Druid's Familiar, which is just one of the most quality cards. I'd really like to know what the rare was in this pack, because this is an insane pack. If you got this for a sealed pool, you would be so set. I mean, this is an unbelievably good sealed pool pack. You'd have the Force Mage, Familiar, Blessings, and Wolf. All of these are extremely powerful green cards. Druid's Familiar is definitely the best though, so I'm just going to snap that up. And green-black is actually an awesome strategy too, so don't have any problem with that pick there. Alright, so if I'm green-black, it looks like we're probably just going to be looking at the Nightshade Peddler here. He's cheap, and Death Touch is a very good ability, especially when you couple it with creatures like Butcher Ghoul and stuff, you know, that have Undying, so then you get twice the use of the Death Touch. So I'm pretty sure that's our pick here, so we'll just pick up the Peddler. Let's do a cost sort real quick. Okay, here we've got a couple options. Pathbreaker Worm is very good. I think I'm inclined to pick the Wandering Wolf though, only because he's one of the very few quality cheap creatures. If this was like, if I was in white or something and this was like a Thraben Valiant and this was like a 6-drop, I'd most likely pick the better 6-drop over the 2-drop. What I'm trying to say is, The only like 1 and 2 drop creatures you should really be picking, and I can't even think of a good 1 drop creature. The only good 2 drop creatures you should be picking. Well, just take a look at the chart in the article I wrote on seemsgoodmagic.com. If you want to see all the playables I think are in Avacyn Restored, there's just very few in the lower end, and Wandering Wolf is definitely one of them. So happy to pick that up. He's a pretty high quality card. Alright, so we've got the Grave Exchange, which is decent, not amazing. We've got the Corpse Trader, which is actually a pretty good card. If you pick up a couple Butcher Ghouls, he can be pretty useful. Otherwise, a Hill Giant is fine. It's not great, but it's fine. It actually locks down a lot of cheap creatures in this format, so I think I'm inclined to take the Corpse Trader here and be happy with that, or at least have no problem with that. Tormentor's Trident is good. Soul Cage Fiend is also actually very good. I like Soul Cage Fiend a lot, and I think I'm okay with picking it here. Tormentor's Trident has the best synergies with Wandering Wolf and other green creatures that get unblockable like that. So how inclined am I to pick this up over the Soul Cage Fiend? I really do like Soul Cage Fiend a lot. The only problem is it's double black, so it's going to commit me to a little more of a black strategy. I do like the Trident with the Wandering Wolf. It's also pretty good with the Peddler. I think I'm going to go with the Soul Cage Fiend. I'd prefer to just get a 3-drop now, and he's a really good one, actually. I like him. Here we're pretty clearly picking the Abundant Growth. Opens us up for a splash if necessary, but it's also just the best card in this pack, I would say. Cycling effects are pretty good in this format, from what I understand. Okay, so here we're pretty clearly picking the Butcher Ghoul, since it already has good synergies with our Peddler, and it already has good synergies with our Corpse Trader, so Butcher Ghoul it is. So is our opener. Let's see, Vanguard Shield is probably a satisfactory sideboard card, especially with Butcher Ghoul. I don't really like Diagraph Escort very much at all. I don't think it's a very playable creature. I'm not even worried about going up against it, even though I'm in black, so that should tell you something. It's a pretty low power card, in my opinion. Now I'll just proceed to lose to Diagraph Escort. That would be sad. Okay, so we'll pick up our Vanguard Shield for the sideboard. And I believe this was the Ridiculous pack. It's either this one or the next one. I'm pretty sure. No, I'm pretty sure this was the Ridiculous pack that had all the good green cards. So other people dove into green, unsurprisingly. That's going to happen every time you do this. Here we're definitely picking the Bloodflow Connoisseur. Just already, once again, good synergies with Butcher Ghoul. It's very anti-removal for your other creatures, because you can just sack them in response. So I kind of like that. Here, I like the Renegade Demon, actually. I think he's a fairly efficient beater, and I like him. I don't have any problem with him. So we're definitely deeper black than green, but I don't think that's an issue. Essence Harvest is actually a playable card, so I'll take that. It also cuts black a little bit earlier. I'm more likely to play Polluted Dead or Rain of Thorns. This takes care of more threats, but Polluted Dead is a creature. I think I'm going to go with the creature on this one. Rain of Thorns, there's a good chance I find an opportunity to pick up another one, so I'll just pick up that. Okay. And at this point we're pretty committed to black-green, which is a strategy that I think is very good, one that I'm happy to go in. It allows us the best creatures in the format. It also allows us the best removal. Wow, this is actually an insane pack. Geist Trappers is I think in the words of Josh Frankel, blocks the world, which is a pretty accurate description. It blocks almost everything. Divine Deflection is insane, though. I'm a little inclined to pick it up and splash it, only because I have the Abundant Growth, which would make that much easier. But Blessings of Nature is a super strong card, and it's on color, so I'm actually inclined to pick this up over the Divine Deflection. Divine Deflection is, you would easily say that it's stronger than Blessings of Nature, but Blessings of Nature is like one of the strongest green cards that you can get, and since we're already in green, I don't have a problem picking this up. The fact that you miracle it for 1, it just does really stupid things. It's like turn 3, get your 6/5 Wandering Wolf and just kill them very, very rapidly. So this card's insane, and I'm happy to pick it up. Divine Deflection is very good though, and I think if the Blessings of Nature weren't here, I would probably pick the Divine Deflection over the Geist Trappers, but the way it is, Blessings of Nature is just too good to pass, so I must take it. Alright, so got some options here. Barter in Blood is super strong, and if we already have the Butcher Ghoul, I'm a little more inclined to take that, I would say. Borderland Ranger is good, would have made that splash easier on the Divine Deflection. Wandering Wolf is very efficient though, and very good. Let me think. How much do I want Barter in Blood? It doesn't even matter if you're running a lot of creatures. You find good opportunities to use Barter in Blood, and it can easily take games over. Fits our curve a little bit better. But Wandering Wolf is very good, but I think the power level on Barter in Blood is motivating me to pick that up instead. I mean, you can really just slow roll it, and then your opponent can really get hurt by it. Especially when you factor that a lot of the creatures in this format are very big. So I guess I'll take the Barter in Blood. So at this point we're deeper black than green, but we are just fine. So Demonic Taskmaster is good and all, but much rather have the Trusted Force Mage, which is just one of the, it's in the family of the most quality creatures in the format, so easily taking that over the Taskmaster. Trusted Force Mage is better. Alright, so we get to follow it up with another good pick. And we have a little bit of a choice. We've got the Deathwind, we've got the Geist Trapper, and we have the Butcher Ghoul. A little inclined to take the Deathwind here, since it gives us another removal. We already have, I would say, a very significant amount of win cons in this deck. Geist Trappers is pretty amazing, though, so I kind of have to think about that a little longer. I would like to be able to take care of any threat, which is what Deathwind really lets you do. Geist Trappers is a very strong card, though. I need to think about this. Butcher Ghoul is also very good, but it's got to be just Geist Trappers and Deathwind at this point that I'm really picking between. I do like how well this holds down the fort. It's very strong. Deathwind is very strong too. I think I'm going to go with the Deathwind. I just like to get the removal. Alright, so now choices. We get another Abundant Growth. We can get a Ghoul Flesh. We can get Mental Agony, I suppose, but not very likely. So it's really like Abundant Growth or Ghoul Flesh. I really like these cycle effects a lot. Not only does it mana fix you, but allows you to get to your win cons a lot faster, or your removal a lot faster. Do I want to play a second Abundant Growth, or am I more likely to play the Ghoul Flesh? Ghoul Flesh does take care of quite a few threats, actually, so I think I am going to take it over the second Abundant Growth. Just sort of diversify what I have access to. I think that's going to be better. So if I pick the Driver, it lets me get my Wandering. It's Convert Mana Cost. I always forget. I want to say it's Power, but it is Convert Mana Cost. So it allowed me to get my Peddler, my Butcher Ghoul, and my Wandering Wolf back, those are all very good. A little more inclined to take the Bone Splinters, only because I have a Butcher Ghoul. There's a good chance that I get one more. Just opening me up for more removal is going to be good as well. Also, you can sack the Soul Cage Fiend, which is, hopefully I pick up another Driver along the way, but I think we're going to take the Bone Splinters here, just get some more solid removal. Okay, now I'm absolutely slamming the Geist Trappers. I would say that it's significantly better than both Malfield Twins and Soul Cage Fiend. Even Soul Cage Fiend is a quality 3-drop, but Geist Trappers is an amazing 5-drop. So we now represent the entire family of best cards in the green, probably in the set, in common and uncommon, in my opinion. Another Corpse Trader probably be fine, but I guess I'm a little more inclined to take a Sheltering Word. I like the protection it offers for our amazing creatures. It also protects something that we've blessings and gains us more life in the process. Yeah, I'm going to take a Sheltering Word here. Searchlight Geist is also kind of interesting, though. I bet it's pretty good with these two. I feel like this is a deck where I'm going to be using my mana quite a bit, though, so I'm going to take the Sheltering Word for some protection. Here we'll definitely take the Necrobite, which is a It's a legitimate combat trick, not one that I'm like amazed with, but it's legitimate. All right, we'll take a second connoisseur. Although I guess it's not super likely that I would play a second one. All right, we'll easily pick up a Searchlight Geist here, which is pretty good for us actually. We'll just take something on color. I don't really like Escort all that much, but it is on color. Take the Agony for the sideboard. I don't think I want to main deck it, and I guess we'll take the Power Passage for the sideboard too. So why don't I hide stuff that I'd preferably not like to main deck. I mean, I'd feel comfortable probably main decking all of these, but I think we're going to drop the Essence Harvest for now. And we'll drop the Polluted Dead too. I'm fairly confident we'll be able to find upgrades for these. I'd even like to hide one of these connoisseurs, so we're still on the hunt for a few more good playables. I'm pretty happy with where we're at though. We got a very good mix of the best removal and the best creatures, so this is exactly where you want to be in an Avacyn Restored draft, I believe. Alright, pack 3, and we have a pretty clear pick of the second Trusted Force Mage. So not a ton of other... Well, actually there is. Driver would be very good, and Taskmaster would probably be fine in this deck. Not amazing, but fine. I mean, it's a super efficient beater. You really shouldn't have to have it online more than like 3 turns without it either being answered or beating your opponent. Timberland Guide is also very good, but it's just nowhere in the same league as Trusted Force Mage is in terms of power level, so taking the Force Mage pretty easily there. Hopefully we get some more green. We were before, and what do you know, we got another one of the greatest creatures in the set, so easily taking this over the Timberland Guide again and a Driver of the Dead. So Wolf Revenger is awesome, happy to pick it up. Alright, we actually, I mean, I'm fine with taking the Use Spirit here. It's a lot of good stuff for the red strategy, but we're deeper black than green, so I'm not super impressed with U-Spirit, but we actually don't have a ton of late game, so I think he's probably going to be fine. Alright, now I actually do have a choice. We can take the Driver, which allows us to get some value out of this, or we can take the Howlgeist, which is fine. It's actually very good, strong, it's got Undying. I'm a little more inclined to take the Driver, only because I feel like this is a deck where I can probably eventually cut this U-Spirit and run 16 lands, which I would like to do. If I drop a... Yeah, I feel like I could probably get away with running 16 lands, and if I do that, I'd rather have my curve just be a little bit lower. Plus, Driver is still very good in this, since it allows us to, you know, get more value out of our stuff. Howlgeist is super strong though, and is a totally legitimate finisher. But I'm going to go with the Driver. I'm going to hedge my bets and hope that I can make this a 16 land deck, which I think would be a little more consistent overall. Alright, easily taking the Nettle Swine here, which is just another super efficient beater. Pretty much every green card you pick up is going to be really good, I feel like. Alright, we're getting a sweet finisher here in the Pathbreaker Worm. I still believe I'm going to be able to get away with 16 lands for this deck. If I hide that, I probably don't need to run the Renegade Demon, but I'm going to hide one of these. Not a ton of good stuff here for us, so we're definitely just stealing the Thatcher Revolt, which is what Red-White really needs to make their deck consistently good. Alright, we're going to take another 2-drop here. This is one of the least impressive ones, but we're not really passing much of anything else. And once again, I can probably get away with keeping a pretty low curve on this deck. Alright, we'll take another Driver. I'd probably run the Drivers over the Corpse Traders. Even though the Corpse Trader has more toughness, I just like the Driver more. It has better synergies with the Barter and Blood and Butcher Ghoul and Bloodflow Connoisseur and stuff like that. So none of these are super impressive. Which one is most likely to do anything against me? I guess Builder's Blessing, probably. Although not super likely. Mad Prophet's actually a very good card. I'm surprised to still see it in here. I don't even think I have enough demons to really make this that good. I don't even really like Skull of Gristlebrand very much at all. Even though I've had an opponent get full value off of it, I just don't really like it. Of all these, I suppose I'll take the creature, but Haven Gull Scab is not a very good one. Don't really care if my opponent plays Demolish, but not super likely to sideboard into 2 Vanguard Shields either, I guess. Okay, so we got plenty of good cards. I'll be able to make a very solid deck out of this, so give me a minute. Alright, I very quickly put this together. I think it looks pretty good. It turns out if you pile by color, we're actually dead even on green and black. I mean, it looks like we even have the same amount of double black as we do to double green, so that's saying something, I guess. So it's 8-8 split pretty evenly amongst the lands, which I think is going to be fine. We have a lot of power in this deck. A lot. We have good curve. This is easily a deck that can run 16 lands, in my opinion. Even though we're a little bit high in the 3 and 4, I don't think that's a big deal. This is definitely a spot where I think Abundant Growth is going to be very good because because we have the 16 lands. We just really want to make sure that we're hitting that double green and double black when we want it. I think Driver is going to be just fine in this deck since there's 4 creatures that it can get back. That's enough, in my opinion, to run the 4 mana 3 power guy. We're only going to be running one of the Bloodflow Connoisseur since 2 of them seems a little bit unnecessary. Yeah, and we have good removal. We've got some of the best creatures in the format. This looks like a very solid deck. I very easily can see a deck like this winning, so I'll see you in round 1. Wish me luck.